and welcome to our Thursday space. The question today for us on this Thursday space is how to become a lawyer in the UAE. It's a question that I'm asked so often by young lawyers, students at law schools, mothers, and of course, interns in my firm. Remember, we are a federation in the UAE, which means that we have always a federal law on one hand, and then we have local laws on the other hand. The regulation on the federal side in the UAE for the practice of law is mainly law number 34 of 2022. By the way, the regulation of this law is not out yet. So the law itself regulates the practice of lawyers in the UAE on the federal level, and the regulator is the Ministry of Justice. The Emirates that have their own regulations for the practice of law in the UAE are Abu Dhabi, which is the Abu Dhabi Judicial Department, the Dubai courts under the Legal Affairs Department of Dubai government, and Ras Al Khaimah. So that means that the practice of law in these three Emirates is regulated through these three regulators by three different sets of laws. Generally speaking, practicing law in the UAE courts, except of course for DIFC and ADGM, is exclusive to UAE nationals. And in certain circumstances, for Gulf Cooperation Council nationals too. So other non-UAE nationals and GCC advocates will have to be licensed to become advocates in the UAE courts. These lawyers will have to have a minimum of 15 years of experience in advocacy, work in a UAE licensed law firm, advocacy firm, hold a valid residency in the UAE and a labor card registered with the firm in which they practice, are qualified as advocates in their foreign jurisdiction and are of full legal capacity and have not been convicted of an offense affecting their honor. So if you want to practice law in Dubai, you need to know that the Dubai regulations governing the legal profession have two sets of practitioners. Advocates who have right of audience before Dubai courts, who may either be UAE nationals or Arab-speaking lawyers, as per what we said in the Ministry of Justice accreditation of lawyers. Now, there is another set of practitioners, which are the legal consultants, who are permitted to provide legal opinions and advice and have no right to appear before the courts. Administrative Resolution number 234 of 2015 concerning the registration of legal consultants in the Emirate of Dubai requires foreign lawyers to register with the Legal Affairs Department in Dubai. They do, however, need to register with the CLPD training, which is the Continuous Legal Practice Development. It is a kind of training that is required with points to renew their licenses as legal consultants. For local lawyers, they will need to be registered with the Ministry of Justice and licensed by the Ministry of Justice before they are allowed to appear before Dubai courts. The same also applies to RAG courts and the ADJD in the UAE. Now, what about the DIFC courts? Of course, the DIFC courts is not exclusive to UAE nationals, as mentioned, and the DIFC has two sets of practitioners as well, registered. So it's either Part 1, which is for law firms operating in the jurisdiction of the IFC, or it is for individuals who are registered in Part 2. ADGM courts have not instituted a registration system of lawyers as a prerequisite to appear or have right of audience. Anyone can appear before the ADGM courts, self-representing parties or any other representatives. To sum it up, if you are a UAE national with a law degree and wish to become a lawyer, you must meet the following criteria to obtain a practicing certificate. Be at least 21 years of age, hold a certificate from an accredited university or higher institute, whether in the UAE or outside the UAE, have carried out at least 1 year of training in the Institute of Training and Judicial Studies. If you have qualified in another country, whether it is the SQE in England or the New York Bar, as a UAE national, you would still be able to be licensed as a legal consultant, but not as a lawyer with right of audience except in the IFC courts. The Dubai Legal Affairs Department would require the local lawyer to register also with the Dubai Legal Affairs Department, of course, to practice in Dubai, while registering with the Ministry of Justice as a prerequisite. To obtain rights of audience before the IFC courts, an application must include a declaration that the applicant has a minimum of 5 years of advocacy, evidence that the applicant has sufficient command of English language to conduct proceedings before the courts. Thank you for being with us today on our Thursday Space. Until we see you next month, have a lovely month.